Hello friends, I'm Sarah, and I talk about all kinds of things, but with a sort of kind of focus on historical costuming. So first of all, I'm going to say hello to all the newcomers. There are a whole lot more of you now than there were when I last released a video, and that's really exciting. So today's video is going to be a little bit different because it's not a project vlog or a video tutorial. So today I'm going to show you all about an event that I went to. First of all, I'm going to let you know that I live in Atlantic Canada, where we currently have 0 COVID-19 cases of community transmission. We've had a few cases here and there over the past couple of months, but they are all related to travel outside the Atlantic bubble, and they have been people who were already self-isolating because that's currently policy. So additionally, there were measures in place at the event to reduce the chances of transmission within the camp. And if you're really curious about all those details, hit me up in the comments and I will explain it all to you. But mostly just, I live in a very low risk area right now and I wasn't going very far. So let's get started. I'll invite you to settle in. I know most of you aren't able to go anywhere right now, so join me here in Nova Scotia and we'll go together. Are we going? To the Avalon gathering. Avalon is hosted by a couple in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, and is a weekend where LARPers, pagans, folk musicians, and more all get together to dress up and celebrate on some beautiful, magical land. It's also a camping trip, and that means packing up all our stuff into my new tiny car, and then driving for a good long while with 3 kids squashed in the back. Our first stop, or at least the first one that I filmed, is in Port Hawkesbury, where we find this fantastic playground. So we'll have a picnic and take some time to play while I rest my legs from driving. After about an hour, we'll get back on the road. As always, the long road up to the camp seems longer than I remembered.
Once we arrive, the kids take off running, which is normal. Once they're corralled, it's time to set up our camp. Unfortunately, it seems to be a bad year for bugs. We hit the overlap between black flies, which are earlier in the season, and mosquitoes, which I find are usually a bit later. Of course, this may just be me. Our campsite is shared with my housemates and their 2 children, and another family of close friends and their daughter. One of the best parts of the gathering for the children is getting to bring the foam swords to play with other kids. My youngest especially enjoys it. They also have an archery range set up. Adults and children are welcome to try their skill. As it gets dark, we sit by the big communal fire. Earlier in the day, some of the people had gone up to the maple grove to cut a staff, but I'm not able to walk that far. A few of them try fire hardening them. We give the children glow sticks, both because they're fun and because it's an easy way to keep track of them in the dark. Before long, it's time for bed. The next day is the main costuming day, as it's the day of the children's costume contest. In the morning, we check out the lone vendor who had been able to make it. My youngest buys a dragon's eye necklace, which really sets off his look. The weather is warm and breezy, but not hot. After some time at the archery range, the children are offered the opportunity to make lanterns with simple materials.
wearing green. You look like you belong.
You're also dancing. You're so happy with it. Show me the little dance.
Whoever eats the watermelon, finishes the watermelon first wins.
What?
Yes!
Definitely fair to start a contest halfway through.
Yes, very fair.
Watch this. I'm going to throw this avocado pit in the forest, and maybe an avocado tree will grow there. Who knows?
Who wins?
Rebecca, can
Orion?
you do me a favor? Do you see that orange bag there? Can you dig out a metal spoon from the bottom of it? Okay. Thank you, bud.
Is there only one metal spoon?
Yes, I just want to scrape out the avocado. Oh, never mind. It might not be there.
It's here.
Okay.
Newsy.
After a quick lunch, it's time finally for the costume contest. I'm super proud because I made a costume for each kid that we brought from my house. That's the 5 children on the left of the screen. 3 are mine and 2 are my friends.
All right, everyone, we have deliberated.
Stop it! I like
So in third place, we have Karen. Oh, name that one Alice.
Hey!
That's amazing. All right,
All
and
right.
in second place, we have Layla.
Way to go! Look at the dogs all excited.
All right, and drum roll, please. In first place, we have Alice.
That's awesome, guys.
Alice, your favorite thing is the pink.
Well, there was destined.
Thanks, guys.
Congrats.
And my daughter and my youngest son won first and third place. Yay! After the contest, the kids begin to change out of the costumes. I'm not sure why, but the girls both want to wear nothing but their shifts. So they do. Personally, I thought it was starting to get windy and chilly. I'm not complaining though, as it lets me wear my bed jacket with my costume. And it really did a great job keeping the bugs to a minimum. Mid-afternoon was the event that was the highlight of the weekend, the Stag King Trial. Unfortunately, the sound is deplorable here, and the wind did not help, but I will narrate as required.
What? The dog is like, oh my gosh, no.
So you want to just wear your shorts like your pajamas?
You understand the rules?
I want to wear my pajamas.
Yes. Yeah, you understand the disqualifications? Cheating, biting, kicking contestants in the legs are all allowed. Failure to follow the checkpoints is not allowed. So, you will have a skill testing series of 3 questions at the end. Here is the story for which you
So
need to
first, our
know
3 valiant contestants were told the story of King
Here's the
Arthur.
story.
Just the basics, who his father was,
Arthur
and
was the firstborn
how
son
Merlin was
of
connected to him, and how he
King
became the king of the Britons.
Remember that. Go.
Then, the 3 contestants had a staggered race through the woods, where there were knights waiting to ask them questions.
Show me your moves.
So all through Wales.
One on the edge of the cliff, right? Oh yeah. I leave it. Still a drop.
Once they had completed their race through the woods, they had to carry a water bucket without spilling any. Spilling carried a push-up penalty.
Oh, you dropped it. Dropped it. No, 10 push-ups. You dropped it again. 10
Once the water had gone there and back again, they had to hit the center of the furthest archery target. And this step was what tripped up our contestant number 2. He has never done any archery before. If you scroll back, you can actually see him nervously practicing in the background of the costume contest. The race was won by wisdom and experience this time. Contestant number 3 had paced himself running up the hills of the woods, while his son, contestant number 2, arrived back at the field completely exhausted and had to take a break when he got there. His father instead was able to move ahead in the competition. He also had archery experience and therefore was quickly able to hit the target. The next step was to answer another question from the Arthur myth, this time while holding a log and standing on one leg. With this last step completed, all that remained was to touch the door of the gazebo. Contestant number 3 was able to bulldoze his way through pretty quickly and to touch the door and win the prize. His first prize was a bucket of water. Heavy indeed is the head that wears the crown. Sadly, his actual crowning was postponed to the next day, and it was after I leave. But after hugging his son and his partner, the day moved on. The wind became gusty. So when the younger kids participated in building up and lighting the fire, it takes them a good long while and quite a bit of teamwork. We will kindle the fire, spirit of the fire, come to us. We will kindle the fire, we will kindle the fire, dance the magic circle round. But eventually, they get it done, and the children are very proud of their fire. After the fire is lit, I promptly lose my camera for a little bit, and therefore have no footage from that evening. The next morning, after another restful night in the tent, it was time to get ready to head for home. So we started all the work of taking down the tent. The children take the time for another few rounds of archery, and we all took our time to marvel at the truly beautiful day. With everything squished back into the car, we're off. Only one more exciting thing happened on our trip. As we approached the Canso Causeway, we got to see the bridge move to allow a few boats through. I'd never seen it before, although I've lived in Nova Scotia all my life. And that was the end of our trip.
And that's it, folks. I drove home. I didn't actually have as many bug bites as I expected because I think long skirts help with that. I swear, people historically knew what they were talking about. At any rate, yeah, came home, did some laundry, and caught up on my sleep, and that's about it. I hope you enjoyed going on this trip with me. Feel free to scratch your own bug bites if you have any. And I'll see you next time. Remember to hit that like button if you liked it. Hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more. And yeah, we'll see you next time. I think I'm going to be explaining how I made my stays, but I keep saying that I'm going to do something in the next video and then it doesn't happen. So who knows? Bye, friends.